insert drink and hit play.
Whoops.
Hey guys, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome to Blu-ray Dismay. On this segment, we are doing a fifth of. You have John Daniels here, and I have my two counterparts with me.
The Right Honorable Javier Ian Marcellus Ignatius II Esquire.
And,
Jimmy.
And Bruno Diaz, a.k.a. Johnny C., a.k.a. Johnny Walker.
Bruno Diaz. Okay, guys,
Johnny Skywalker.
Johnny Skywalker. Just to give you guys some background, this fifth segment, we are actually going full spoiler alert into a recently...
Spoilers ahead.
into a current show. In this case, it's The Mandalorian, which I believe is a Disney exclusive.
Disney Plus exclusive, the new streaming service from Disney, which just launched
Just
on
came out, I
November
think,
12th.
on the 8th. Yeah, or the
I swear to God,
Uh,
I'm not chills.
13 or something.
yeah. So okay, again, so full spoiler, straight ahead, everyone, just so you know. So that's what this segment is a fifth of. And guys, I mean, we just watched it a few minutes ago. What'd you guys think?
All right, well, lead on.
Yeah, fifth of is it's a new segment we're trying to do. Is we'll talk about everything.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just a shot of, it's fifth of, get the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so for this episode, yeah, we're doing The Mandalorian, which was my pick. I kind of pushed it on these guys because it's new and relevant. And I really love Boba Fett, which this is not, but it really tries its darndest hard to be.
Fett.
Not fit.
Yeah, Boba not Fett.
Boba fake.
Bubba wannabe.
But yeah, for the most part,
Okay, so who the hell is who's RoboCop?
I
Why
like
is he
this
so
show.
mean? Why is RoboCop in this so mean? What's his deal? What is he, a bounty hunter dude?
He's
Is
a
he
bounty hunter for sure, obviously, if you've seen the episode. He's getting bounties from Carl Weathers, apparently.
dude, Apollo Creed.
Yeah, Apollo Creed's helping Mandalorian bounty hunters out in the universe. So this is like 5 years after the Empire, after Return of the Jedi. The Empire is currently struggling. Now they are like kind of like the rebels in the universe because they're trying to bring back the Emperor or something.
So wait, if I was watching the movies, which one would this closely follow? Which movie?
This is after Return of the Jedi, after Episode 6.
Okay.
In between Episode 6 and Episode 7, which is the new trilogy.
And are there any characters from 6 or 7 that tie into this in this episode 1?
No, that's Bill Burr right there. I forgot he was in this show. No, not that we've seen so far. They're all completely new characters.
Yeah, guys, by the way, this is the first episode. We're doing the first episode because as of today, 2 episodes are out, but this one we're specifically focused on episode 1.
This is just episode 1 right now.
Okay.
Right. Because it took me a week to find someone else's Disney Plus log-on to borrow.
Oh, yeah. So the cool
Disney
thing,
Plus.
I think I really like the first scene where he's just like kind of a badass, walks into the bar like
yeah,
like
it
a
plays
Wild Wild
off
West
the
style.
general everything.
Yeah, pretty cool.
General coolness and badassness of just being in a western in that time period, and then you play with that.
Yeah, it's like the Wild Wild
being
West out there. Yeah.
He's pretty much just a space cowboy, collecting bounties off the fucking billboard, in the cantina or the bar, and just making his way through the universe.
Yeah.
And it tries not to be Boba Fett, but it just is, like, from the carbonite thing that he has built in automatically into his ship, which is kind of weird. And just like his whole, obviously the costume and a lot of the weapons that the 2-pronged spear, like kind of like rifle that he has, is actually from the holiday special from the early 70s where Boba Fett first made his very first appearance, even before Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah.
He was a toy and in the cartoon. Like, that's how he made his debut to the world. So he's already like a character and a thing before Empire even came out, which is pretty cool. But yeah, it's not, but it pretty much is in my eyes. And this is IG-11, which is just based off IG-88, which is another bounty hunter from Empire Strikes Back. He's also in Shadows of the Empire. But yeah, for the most part, I like it. I think it's cool. It's fun to just take a nice breeze through the Star Wars universe and not have to worry about all the huge things going on all around you. You can just like kind of have fun and like take a breather and in a bar in the cantina and see what happens in these planets. What's going on with these Mandalorians at this point in time.
So the one thing I didn't get, they were riding that big fat like hippopotamus or whatever, and the dude that's taking him says, "Hey, there's no way to get to the camp or to the place where they need to go for this one bounty unless you ride this big like hippo thing." But I don't know what those hippo things had. Like, I don't know what the advantage of those things was to get there. Aside from like a long ride, I don't know.
I thought it was the cracks in the ground, like the ones that they're jumping over. Maybe the land speeders couldn't handle that because it's uneven terrain or something like that. And it would just take too long for him to get there by walking, or he'd be spotted, more easily spotted that way. I mean, I don't know. Or just to give Nick Nolte some more dialogue.
Apparently.
As that character. I forget his name already.
Guest starring Nick
The little
Nolte
guy.
with no makeup.
Yeah.
Yes, that was Nick Nolte just straight up
After
in his
his
current
mugshot
form.
photo.
Yeah.
Funny.
Rolled out of bed. Started talking. Well, for my own part, I'm struggling to care. It's a
Womp, womp, wow, 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 wow.
Yeah, pretty much. Sadly, we don't have a sound effect for that, but it's not Boba Fett, so I don't care. This guy,
Yeah.
This guy talks too much. I don't care. It's none of these characters are going to be in any of the movies. Probably, I don't know. I don't care. They found a baby Yoda. I don't care. It's
I don't care.
hard to overstate how much I actively don't care. It's really strange.
Yeah.
It's like not since Solo has Star Wars been met with such indifference by me.
Yeah.
And again,
Everything
wow,
else,
wow, 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 wow.
everything else, I either loved or hated or had some opinion on. But this is like, okay, this kind of happened.
It's just kind of there.
It's there. It exists. I guess things are happening. He's trying to
Yeah.
get his armor back, so that's the plot structure for the first series arc, I guess. It's
Yeah.
like
Hey, yeah.
Well, I
Did
think
Boba Fett talk?
This really does. Yeah, he talks a lot.
Not really.
I mean,
He doesn't
not
say
a
a
lot,
lot.
but I mean, he talks. It's not like he doesn't.
He has a couple lines.
But I think this show just really adds to. If you're a fan of the Clone Wars cartoon show, which was Jon Favreau actually played a Mandalorian in one of the major arcs in the Clone Wars cartoon for the Mandalorians. He was one of the head Mandalorians that turned against his planet and his people and everything to work with the Empire and create this whole other sect and everything. And like Dave Filoni, which is a good
Filoni-
director for the Clone Wars cartoon show, and he
does good
did
work.
direct this episode, which is all right. And it does just remind me of a live action Clone Wars cartoon. And that's why I like it, because I love Clone Wars and just what it added to like the mythos of having Clone Wars actually be a thing that is interesting and cool, and not just a thing you just kind of slip in there and be like, oh, the Clone Wars happened, and then it's over. And it's like, okay, what really happened? Don't agree with all of it, but for the Mandalorians part, I do. It's just fun to explore their, like, I don't know, people and way of life. They're just like Vikings pretty much. Like they're just played to be badasses because like that's why, because they look really cool. I mean, you can see in the cartoon here. And yeah, and it really does play off. I think it really is playing off of if you like the Clone Wars and you like what they did with the Mandalorians in the Clone Wars, which they made it a big part of. Like it's part of a couple big arcs within the show in the war. So like I think that's what they're playing off of. Why you would care. It has the direct people involved with the Clone Wars and the Mandalorians directly involved with this show specifically. Right. So that's why this show exists, is because of the Clone Wars cartoon. And Boba Fett just looking really cool in general. So you got to capitalize on that. Ding, ding.
Capitalize?
Yeah.
The cool armor.
On how cool Boba Fett looks and why he's just a seller. But
I don't know.
I think that's what the selling point is. If you're a fan of him or Favreau or what they did in the Clone Wars with these characters and their people and like in their mythology in the Star Wars universe, I think that is the selling point of why you would be interested in these and what's happening.
It's a case of all there in the manual, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, another thing in the thing where he like cattle prodded that like. Goddamn whale! I don't know that
walrus thing.
Yeah, that little cattle prod doesn't look like it would do all that, but I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe it has like a super button or something, but that kind
it
of
is
looks
a
weird.
space cattle prod.
Space cattle prod. Yeah.
I guess. I mean, damn. If it could take down that like I don't know
Right.
5-ton whale.
Space seal. Yeah.
Yet he couldn't draw it on a single blurg.
Yeah. He missed it. He missed that.
Yeah.
Well, from the episode standpoint itself, I do love the end with IG-88 or IG not 88 11 with the like his whole part of like interacting with another bounty hunter and it is just playing off of and
the Separatists had a few of those. They wouldn't have gotten their asses beat.
Dude, why did he shoot
Yeah.
Why did he shoot his partner at the end? That little traitor.
and that's why it's a fun time. It's 5 years after the Empire, so like it's like free reign for whoever's out there.
So why he shot IG-80? Because he wanted to take it in alive.
Oh, he
baby
shot him
Yoda?
at the end of the episode. He shot him because the Bursk, what is it, Beskar, ignite that he's getting is what he's actually using to reforge the Mandalorian armor, which they showed in the beginning when the girl was forging his shoulder piece there.
Pauldron.
Yeah, and then so what he said is like, if you bring him in alive, we got a whole heap of this waiting for you. This is only just a down payment, like a taste of. So obviously he wants to bring him in alive because the armor and everything, his history is very important to his character. Why he did a whole bounty
So
and got the ignite to get
baby because he was an orphan himself. Couldn't possibly have anything to do with that.
Well, I'm sure it's gonna play into that. Like, oh, is he gonna turn the baby in? Is he gonna blah blah blah? I'm sure that's where it's going. Hopefully he just turns it in for the freaking armor. Like, just if he's just like trying to like, because
go back to the trailer.
IG-11 was trying to kill it, which was if they're splitting the bounty, they would have got
Less.
half of or less.
Half of a lower amount.
Less of what they originally got, and then split that. So
Right.
that's why he like took out him to get the bounty
Dude,
alive, which he gets more money,
he's a
and he
traitor.
gets more by himself.
He would have never even gotten to him without that robot thing.
Yeah,
Maybe not.
Highly
but if the
doubtful.
robot wanted the whole bounty, then they would have split it.
So you're looking. I'm trying to find that there's a shot in the trailer where I think he had more of his armor. So it's showing you how far he's progressed.
Yeah, a lot of these shots in the trailer are not from the
entire
first episode.
Yeah, some of them are like the carbonite.
Yeah,
thing.
the dude in the beginning, the blue guy, is just annoying. Like, all that dialogue could have been cut out if he just shot the dude.
Again.
it just kind of drags on.
And wait, why did he let him wander on in his ship with like a free reign?
Because he knew he's just gonna shove him in the freezer thing anyway.
Right.
And like the whole part with like using the carbonite as like a standard bounty hunting thing, I guess Boba Fett's efforts in the galaxy didn't go unnoticed.
See,
and
look there.
like,
Has he got more of it, or you can't tell?
yeah, he does
he's
have
got
a lot
both-
of it.
He's
Yeah,
got both shoulders
Yeah.
on that trailer.
Yeah, and that so you can tell he's getting
He's
some more
powering
Beskar
up,
from
yeah.
somewhere.
and then so
One thing I didn't like, they went through the effort in the first scene where they chopped the dude in half through the door, but they didn't actually show anything. And I'm like, oh, come on, man.
yeah,
If you're gonna like,
Star
you
Wars
know.
got to be PG-13, you know.
and it's on Disney Plus.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah, that's true.
I doubt we'll see some blood. Even though I mean the anime, they did shoot a lot of people.
It's all blaster, so you know,
It's like
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like colorful lasers, like pew 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 pew
almost like
pew.
G.I. Joe stuff. you know.
Yeah.
It's like a cartoon.
Yeah, it is like it very much reminds me of the Clone Wars cartoon. It's just a live action version of that, and
Which
and I'm
is,
okay. I'm cool with that because I like the cartoon.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I'm not faulting it technically. It's just kind of like, why does this exist?
Because it can and money.
So
Yeah. But I don't know. I'm just waiting for it to be of any consequence to the universe at large. Or if
Well,
anything.
that's my favorate part about it is because Disney.
At least the Clone Wars tied into the universe, like the important characters or the
Yeah,
events
yeah,
at large.
and then a major event that happens in the universe. Yeah, I mean, this could. Who knows? It is. I mean, we have just started watching it. It's only the first episode. Who knows what's going to happen?
Right.
Maybe you're asking why it's important. Maybe it does become important. Like, but at this point in Star Wars, I don't really give a fuck. I really just want to see a decent, like, fun show in the Star Wars like universe.
Or it could be just like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., where like their only importance was like explained away in a couple lines in like the second Avengers movie or whatever.
Yeah. Or like how any other TV show ties into the actual movies. Like, like Shield. Yeah, and just kind of throwaway lines in the background. You're like, oh, I recognize that because it's from the damn show.
I understood that reference.
Yeah.
Um,
But for me, I think it's cool. It's fun. I always wanted a Boba Fett anything, and for me, this is as close as it's fucking get.
It's Boba
So
Fett.
I'll take it. And I like Jon Favreau as a director, and
Yeah.
from all the interviews and everything I read from him, he seems he's like way down. Was in the Clone Wars show as a Mandalorian. He's obviously way in with this character and just the visual of it, like just the making of it, making sure it looks cool. And he did the first Iron Man, and I feel a lot of that in this. It feels really. Everything feels really natural, the costumes and everything. It's a little cheesy, but not too much. And Dave Filoni, whatever his name is, and
Filoni?
main dude that worked on the Clone Wars, like he gets it. Like I trust that dude, for the most part.
All right.
So that's why I'm down for this. I like the whole like Baby Yoda. I don't really give a fuck what
Saving
happens to
Yoda.
that. Like who cares?
yeah, what's
Doesn't
up with Baby
matter.
Yoda and how's
Save
that
Yoda,
baby
baby.
50
The whole-
years old?
And that's another fun part of it being in between the two trilogies is like it doesn't really matter. Like, you have the 2 trilogies, just have fun in between there, you know? Like, what fun can you have in between that without
There's
having an
actually-
effect? It can't affect the whole universe, or it might,
Running
but it
Yoda's
doesn't
for me.
have to, you know?
The 50-year-old baby just like kind of ruins Yoda's for me because I just thought he was old because he was strong with the Force. Now it's like, oh, you naturally live that long.
Yeah, they don't need to mess with all that kind of stuff.
like-
so
I
it's
think they
like-
already did though. They already
Yeah.
like, just
It's like
they undid everything that the previous ones had built in.
Yeah.
Or Yoda, that at least.
The worst thing that Disney is doing is trying to make their own things happen in Star Wars, and all of it is just bad.
Yeah.
Anything they're trying to add is just mucking things up for everything that happens around it.
Disney's greatest mistake, or a lot of the expanded universe's greatest mistake, is not realizing that Star Wars at heart really isn't a science fiction show. It's a work of fantasy. You got to treat it as such.
Yeah,
It's got sci-fi trappings, but it's really a fantasy thing. So you don't need to have every single little fucking thing explained away to try to make it fit into some kind of.
it loses some of the mystique, which
Yeah.
is a huge, or for me, a big part of fantasy.
Yeah,
is the mysticism of it. Yeah,
mysticism. I mean, the rules have to be consistent, as in any work of fiction, but not everything needs to be explained away. And there's a difference between consistency and, of course, we're dealing with Star Wars, so you got a lot of obsessive detailing over little hints here. This
who
thing,
and what and why and where and
and
how
why,
and when.
and it's like those jokers who are trying to work out like the orbits of the world in Game of Thrones to how the seasons would work. It doesn't work like that. Wrong rules. Wrong
The
rules.
orbits, what?
Some jokers on the internet were trying to work out for Game of Thrones. Were trying to work out a possible orbital path for how the planet could have these ridiculous seasons.
The planet that they live on?
On Game of Thrones, yeah,
Oh, for their seasons.
yeah.
Oh yeah. See,
'Cause
that's the least thing you have to worry about
Right.
in that show.
It's like trying
That's the
to-
last thing. Yeah, that's the last
you
thing
don't-
you should be worrying
Don't
about in that
apply
show.
science fiction rules to fantasy.
Yeah,
books. They
yeah,
have
yeah.
a different rule set for a reason.
It's not there to mean what. That's not the meaning. Yeah, you're missing the point at that. Yeah, at that point.
Yeah, I'm looking at some of the comments on YouTube. Everyone looks to be kind of excited for the majority of it. Or let me just see how this thing is.
Well, what do
sorted.
you think about it? Tell me more about what you think about it. Not what these comments are saying.
I told you what I think about it. Cool first opening. I don't.
From a non-Star Wars guy, like
I mean, yeah. I don't know. Like,
it's just kind of there. Yeah.
it's okay. I mean, yeah. It seems it's intriguing. The first episode catches you just by the first opening scene. You're like, okay, something serious is going on here. The funny blue guy, yeah, it was kind of annoying, but I guess it was a little bit of a comic relief. And
Yeah.
then I don't know, just the whole
It's all kind of a cliche. It's all playing off cliches.
the cattle prod thing where like shot that big whale thing or whatever, and then also when he was trying to ride that hippo horse thing or whatever, the thing had his entire arm in its mouth. I thought he was gonna lose his arm, but he just shook it
Yeah.
off. So I was like, wait a second, is this fantasy
How-
sci-fi or just Santa Fe just fantasy lies?
I mean, how badass are you if Nick
Santa
Nolte has
Fe.
to come and rescue you?
Yeah, Nick Nolte's slow old ass had to come and save him from like a hippo. I'm like, is this like a?
It makes
like a
him way
warrior
more less
dude?
badass in the opening scene,
Yeah.
Just
where he like takes out all these people and then he just gets taken out by a what are they called? Burger?
Blurg. Yeah,
Burger.
burger. It
Yeah.
should be just big burger.
Burgers.
Big meat, just big meat on legs.
But yeah,
All
for
right.
me, it's just fun to see that character run around on screen. It's like all I can expect and hope out of this, really.
Yeah. It's just fun. Like I said, it can't fault it on a technical level.
It's a good.
It's
It's like the ending with the credits where they show all the artwork and everything. From like the
from the episode.
from the episode, like the production arts and production stills or concept art and everything, a Mandalorian and everything, and like just give me more of that. Just show me that on screen. Just make it come
Yeah.
alive. Like I'm cool with just seeing him be cool.
So how many
for a little
episodes
while.
does this thing have? 8,
I think it's 8
and that's just the first
for
season.
the first season. I think they already greenlit a second one and they're already writing it and something like that.
Oh yeah.
So it's gonna be here for a little while.
Disney is known for nothing if not pouring money into things.
I
Even
mean,
if
they have enough of it.
even if they don't know what to do with it.
Yeah.
And yeah, so any other comments, thoughts? Reflections.
I mean,
yeah,
it was-
should we rate it?
It was
or-
a kind of short. It was kind of short. It was like 30 or 37 or 40 minutes. So
yeah,
short
and
episodes.
the next episode is shorter. So I feel like it is going more of like the shorter route than this,
Right.
like more like hour show. It's probably like in between the 30 to 40
Right.
minute mark.
Well, the irony is that if this were on network TV, it would fit an hour exactly because of all the commercials.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't. I mean, if you guys want to rate it, we can rate it, or I would really wouldn't know how to.
I'll rate it. I mean, I don't care.
All right, give us a rating. Johnny
What do you say,
Skywalker's.
Johnny Skywalker?
I'll
Don't
give it
die.
I'll give it a 8.0
Damn.
just because it's not stupidly terrible like everything else has been for me for Star Wars so far.
Okay.
It's just kind of okay. Well, maybe a 7.5.
7.5.
Yeah,
Eight.
7.5. It is cheesy. It's not Boba Fett. If it was Boba Fett, it would be like an 8.5 or something like that. But it clearly is and isn't. But I can have fun with this dude looking cool, being a bounty hunter in the universe for a couple seasons. And hopefully it gets more interesting than it does.
Javier, if you had to rate this,
I liked it better than The Last Jedi. That's
So-
that's all I got to say about that.
That's a lot.
okay, I equate that to a 6.
Isn't that what I give? No, did I read The Last Jedi or did I not?
No,
we
no.
rated it.
I reserved the right, I thought.
No, for the full movie.
That's the
when we
movie
when
we
we did the whole
watched.
movie. No, I think
Oh,
you did rate it. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
this gets a 6.5 because Last Jedi was a 6.
Okay.
Oh, wait a second.
Well, that's
Spoiler
saying a
alert.
lot, though.
Hold on, let me see.
Spoilers alert for shows you
Oh,
haven't
yeah.
seen yet.
Spoiler alert for
Wait.
yeah. Spoiler alert
Spoiler
for
on our own
the Star Wars
on our own
podcast.
review. Whoops.
Yeah.
Let me
So
see.
you don't need to bother watching our review of Star Wars: The Last Jedi because you already know how I rated it.
Oh.
It's
Yeah.
pretty funny.
Yeah.
All right, so you're 6 or something, 6.5, 6.5. And Johnny, you said you're 7.5.
I'll give it
Johnny Skywalker?
7.5, yeah.
Yeah, just me like not being like a diehard Star Wars like guru such as Johnny Skywalker. I guess just from the outside in, I would probably just I'd give it a 6 out of 10. Just not really knowing what the hell is going on, but still kind of captures your interest. Again, I don't know how this badass had his entire arm in this big slow dumb hippo.
Like
And not only
that's
that,
what you focus on. It's
no,
funny.
not only that, he had one of them in his sights, and I'm not talking about iron sights. I'm talking about like
That was-
digital,
That was the second one.
and he could have smoked that thing and ate it for dinner, but instead he let someone else, some other big fat hippo, get the jump on him. So I'm like, okay, so you're like a legendary super killer murderer bounty hunter guy, but you can't capture a slow
But-
obese like thing. So, and then he got his arm caught in the whole thing. I was like, okay, this dude's gonna lose his arm. He's
You
gonna
only
lose his
got beat up by
career.
the livestock.
Yeah, I'm like, come on, man.
He can shoot people, but he can't
So-
see monsters coming.
Yeah, so I definitely
in
didn't
front
like
of his
that. I didn't like. I was like, he started off as a badass, and then he showed his complete lack of anything
And he fell apart.
in the middle. Yeah, I'm like, okay.
And
you're
then the
either,
whole
like-
trying to ride the thing is like, okay, yeah, we've seen this before.
Yeah, that's been done to death in
Yeah,
any,
right.
or literally
They're
any
just-
kind of any story.
They're just trying to make him seem like a
So-
nicer guy.
Yeah,
he
yeah.
couldn't ride it, but then
So,
he instantly
filler.
learned
That part could have
how.
been completely
It's
cut out.
like, okay.
Then it would only have been 32 minutes. instead
Yeah.
of 36.
So
Much
yeah,
like
so
the second
that's
episode.
so that's my reason I give it a 6. Again, not that it's like bad, because most people equate a 6 out of 10 to be bad.
Yeah.
It's just it doesn't.
That's why I gave it a 7.5. It's just not falling apart.
It's just yeah.
Running the average.
It's kind of
Yeah, it's not falling apart, but it's not freaking fantastic or anything. It's just kind of, it's all right.
Yeah. So that's pretty much it. I mean,
It's okay
unless
to
you
look at.
guys got any other final thoughts before we close the segment out?
Talks too damn much.
Talks too damn much.
Who does?
That is all I have to say. Or what does Nick Nolte keep saying?
I have spoken.
I have spoken.
Yeah, I have spoken. Okay, guys. Thanks
The
so
Mandalorian talks so
much.
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
He does talk a lot, right?
I mean, he's not. Is he not supposed to? I mean, who says he's not supposed to? Or
Well, he talks right before he's gonna like kill something. Maybe not. Okay, guys.
sounds better than Kylo Ren in a helmet.
Thanks for joining a 5th of, and tune in next time. We don't know what we're doing, but we'll let you know. Okay, guys. Signing out.